What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react to this Canadian tourism ad that is targeting Americans. So, from what I understand, this ad is meant to encourage us Americans to visit Quebec. And well, I'm American, so I thought it'd be really interesting to take a look at this, especially given all the tensions between Canada and the United States right now. I'm actually kind of very pleasantly surprised to see that there is a Canadian ad that's asking Americans to come visit. So let's take a look at this.
Bonjour, est-ce que je peux vous aider?
Sorry, I don't speak French. I'm just visiting.
Well, then welcome to Canada's Eastern Townships.
Oh.
Where are you visiting from?
I'm American.
That's funny. And I guarantee you there's more than a couple of Americans that are like in Canada or maybe even in Quebec or wherever, anywhere in the world really at this point, where Americans are like, I am from the United States. And it's like this moment of like, is this person gonna like me? Is this person like have a bad opinion of Americans? You know, are they gonna treat me like an individual? Or if you don't like the United States, are you gonna kick me out of your hotel? Who knows? You know, I don't think it's totally unreasonable that a lot of Americans might be apprehensive about this. But anyway, I thought that was very funny how this American like did the lean in like it's a secret. Like, I'm from America. Are we cool? Like, I get it. All right, let's keep going.
Well, then welcome to Canada's Eastern Townships. Where are you visiting from?
I'm American.
Okay.
Oh. Whoa. Wait, what's this? What's happening? What is Wait. This isn't going the direction I was hoping. I was hoping this was some kind of wholesome, like, oh, it's okay. You know, we're angry at the American government. We're upset with Trump and his policies, but you know, some Americans are cool, right? No, this French Canadian is like reaching for, what is this button? What is it? Is this like the anti-American like ejection button? Is he about to get launched out the roof of the building? Whoa. What? Huh? That's nice. What the heck? That's a little like unexpected, maybe borderline over the top, depending on, you know, who you are and if you like getting hugs from random people. But that's actually very sweet. Is it like what is this about? She's giving him a hug. I'm trying to really dissect this Canadian tourism ad. Is she hugging him because she's like, it's okay, you know, there's some tension going on, but it's okay. We love you? I mean, a hug is it's a pretty big gesture. Maybe they do it a little bit differently in French Canada. Maybe this is normal. Is she saying, I feel sorry for you? Is she like, it's a, you know, like, let me hug you to try to make you feel better? Or he had kind of the same reaction I did. Because I was expecting him to get like launched out the roof into the street and then get pelted with rotten fruit. But she came in for the hug. Look at this. This is good acting. This would be the reaction of an American. It'd be like, that's my reaction. It's like, huh? What? Okay. And then it's like, all right. Not the worst thing you could do to me. Come hug it out. This is very sweet. This is very wholesome. As an American myself, yeah, I like this. I love it. It's like acknowledging kind of maybe the awkwardness of the situation and maybe some awkwardness that Americans feel and apprehension to traveling to Canada or other countries where we're like, we kind of have a bad reputation right now, but I don't necessarily agree with it all, but I don't know how to tell you that, and are we cool? And, this ad is acknowledging a lot of that, which is not easy to do, Americans, we're not very good at, being empathetic and putting ourselves in other people's shoes, especially other countries, which I think is why a lot of Americans don't realize how hurt and disrespected Canadians feel about the tariffs and the 51st state threats and the stuff going on. But this ad, to me, this ad really also, it demonstrates how empathetic Canadians are to even conceive of making an ad for Americans telling us it's okay. Come visit. Well, it is an ad for tourism. At the end of the day, you just want us to come spend our money. But that kind of kills the wholesomeness of the whole. I'm not gonna. Yeah, you're inviting us to come to the Eastern Townships to spend all our money on hotels and stuff. But putting that aside, and adding a bit of levity to this, it's like, this Canadian, is this for a hotel or this is for the Eastern Townships in Quebec? They actually thought like Americans, from our perspective, would want to see something like this to invite us. And I actually think it's true. And I like this. I like that. Cool. Close to you, far from ordinaire. How French. I also had seen that there was like there was this video that I wanted to check out afterwards. I've given my thoughts on the ad. Good ad, very sweet. This is some kind of Canadian talk show. I think it's called The Social, and they are going to talk about this ad.
Listen, I want you guys to all check out this first story. A Quebec tourism ad that aims to assure Americans that they are still welcome in Quebec is giving people all the feels. Take a look.
I did feel something.
Where are you visiting from?
Okay, we just saw the ad. We know how it goes. Hug it out. Yes. They're applauding. That's a good sign. I don't know if this is funny for Canadians out there seeing this from my point of view, like as the American. It's like, okay, the crowd is applauding. That's good. That's a good sign. Good.
So, does this sentiment strike a chord with how you feel both as a Canadian at the moment, and also what do you think this is saying to our American neighbors?
It gets you, doesn't it? Like you can't even help yourself. No, not everybody. Oh, not everybody. Okay.
What? Wait, wow, no! No! Oh man, can't we just live in a world where there's just no controversy and it's like everyone is, yeah, that's great, hugging the American. It's like, no, are some people like booing or something?
Gets you, doesn't it? Like you can't even help yourself. No, not everybody. Oh, not everybody. Okay.
Well, some people are not happy.
Well, I'm speaking to the people who it kind of got you. It got me because I feel like it's a really clever piece of marketing. There's a bait and switch there. When you see the button, hand going to the button, you're thinking, God, what's she gonna do? And then the hug, it's just this kind of moment of a reminder that we're known worldwide for our softness and our kindness. Now, never mistake that for weakness, but I think it's part of our national identity, and it's something that we should.
I agree. This does say something very special and positive about Canadians and Canadian culture. And I was talking about Canadian empathy and being able to, feel what other people are feeling. And I really don't think if the situation was reversed, I'm not sure you would ever see this ad made in America. I'll say that much.
Be really, really proud of. And I think this exemplifies that. What do you think, Bea?
Oh, I was kind of on the girl. I'm not feeling what you're feeling, but
Thank you.
but this is what I will say.
Friends.
Yes, we can still be friends.
That's okay. You know what? That's fine. You know, I want to hear like both sides, you know. That was kind of the politically correct answer there, to be like, yeah, everything's wonderful, butterflies and rainbows, and we can hug. But what are some of these Canadians like actually feeling about this?
I will say, if you want to be an emotional support Canadian in this time, just have a discerning spirit about it. Because I'll give you a little.
Oh my God. Dang. Emotional support Canadian, basically saying, I mean, to me, that means like if you want to be a tool or a comfort animal to Americans, like to make us feel better. Like, I don't know if I'm interpreting that correctly, but that does not sound like she likes the sentiments of this ad.
A bit of a personal story. I took a solo trip to Curacao last week. And you know, when you go on solo trips, you meet all kinds of people, you get into all kinds of conversations. Met a lot of Americans, a lot who, once they found out I was Canadian, they were like, oh my gosh, can I get in your suitcase? Can I come back with you? And I kind of got used to that conversation, but then I ended up meeting a couple who were also from the States and kind of approached the conversation with that same vibe. But they were like, oh, we're totally fine with the way things are. They voted for the administration that they have, and they don't see any problems with what's happening. So they're...
That's weird. That's very strange. Like, okay, if you voted for Trump and the current administration, there were some things that maybe like were people wanted fixed that might have been good ideas or whatever that everyone could agree on or something, like with American like illegal immigration at the time with the southern border, like that kind of thing, where everyone was kind of like, okay, yeah, we should probably fix that. But even if you voted for the current government in America, that at this point, I do think, given the way that the trade wars and the tariffs and the decline of America's reputation, and like, you have to admit some of this stuff is terrible ideas and has caused damage to America. Like, if you were an American and you voted for Trump, you have at least admit some of the stuff, such as the trade war and tariffs, threats against Canada, for example, are just strictly not good ideas. Like, no matter what your political ideology is, just step back from that and be like, is this thing here good for us? Has this been good for us or Canada or anyone? It's just that simple, in my opinion. So it does annoy me to hear that she had this interaction with Americans who were like, yeah, this is exactly what I wanted. This is exactly what I voted for. You can't tell me that getting into some kind of crazy tariff trade war and threatening the sovereignty of Canada and losing untold amounts of trade deals with other countries was part of what you voted for. Don't tell me that's what you wanted, because that's insane. Like, okay, you voted for Trump for something, but don't tell me it was for this stuff. That doesn't make any sense.
They're not deserving of a hug if they come to Eastern Township because they're fine, right? So just
all right. Yeah, I get what she's saying. Especially if you have an interaction like that, but it does sound like she's she admitted that she had a lot of interactions with Americans. It sounded like quite a few where Americans said, "Oh, I hate it here. I don't like what we're doing. Put me in your suitcase. Take me to Canada." She almost kind of dismissed, like, that sounds like there's a good bit of Americans who are quote unquote on the right side of it, this whole debacle. And she didn't really grant that very much credit, not too much credit. And this one couple that was like stupid Americans who are like, yeah, taking over Canada, you know, ruining the Canadian economy, tariffing, but yeah, it's good, great. That really sticks out to her the most, and that's unfortunate to me. That is really unfortunate to me.
Discerning.
Interesting.
See, I'm so glad you're here today. Yes. Because I felt the same way, and it was interesting to see the feedback from you guys. You guys also weren't buying it. Although, let me say, this is a brilliant ad because it's so hard to have a political ad that's not political.
Exactly.
And they walked that line, and it was all feel good, and it was cute, and it was great. But like you, I'm not going to forget that these are the same people who voted this person, Donald Trump, in not once, but twice. Half is still a lot. Half is still a lot. And not, okay, after the first time, I think that feels...
Yeah, it's actually pretty interesting for me to see Canadians talk about American politics, because it's definitely a somewhat of a different perspective. You certainly get this perspective here in the United States, don't get me wrong. But on this specific, like, it doesn't blow my mind. Like, as an American living in the United States, you know, for a long time now, my entire life, it doesn't blow my mind at all that Donald Trump was elected again. That does not surprise me. I am not surprised. I wasn't surprised when he won. And that was mostly based on the Democrats' campaign, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, and what they presented as an alternative, and their vision and their messaging, and even social media became a big part of the election this year. I'm not at all like, if anybody was surprised Trump won, that's really because probably you don't live in America, because from here where I am, it was not shocking. I understand the anger and frustration for Canadians around that. I don't know if that all, you know, made a lot of sense, but that's just kind of my rant about all that from an American's point of view, you know.
That we all are feeling bad for the Americans, because you can't help it. Whether you're watching the news or not, you're seeing what's happening. You hear that people are losing their Medicaid. You're watching what's happening in Texas where these floods and people are dying. We're not heartless. We are feeling bad for them. But for me, I just cannot forget that election wasn't too long ago. And I cannot forget the overwhelming majority of people, even though it's half, a lot of people said with their chest that they wanted him back in office. This after the insurrection, after telling people and encouraging medical professionals to encourage people to put bleach in their system to get rid of COVID. They brought that person.
Somehow we live in a world where that happened, and like, we don't even talk about it anymore. We don't even think about it anymore. Donald Trump reposted a picture of him dressed like the Pope. An AI picture of him as the Pope. That happened. That's the world we live in. You know, that's a good point.
In back with their whole chest. So when the actor whispers, "Oh, I'm American," I'm like, no, whisper it. Say it with your whole chest.
Exactly.
The same way you did when you wanted to vote this person back into office that has us all feeling bad for you.
Yeah, I think geography.
Huh. Well, couldn't the American in that ad genuinely have, like, not voted for Donald Trump, though? Like, maybe he really is genuinely, like, embarrassed and didn't vote for Donald Trump. Does that not count for anything? Or I don't know. Anyway, very interesting. It's honestly been very interesting. Not the ad. The ad was really cool for me to look at. And then this random Canadian talk show actually was really interesting to me. I didn't know this was going to be so, like, controversial and so political. But it kind of opened my eyes a bit to what some Canadians are feeling about this, which is good. I think it's good. Made me a little uncomfortable to hear some of it, which is good. So anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on this Quebec ad targeting Americans, what you think of it as a Canadian, because clearly there are different sides to this. Some Canadians are proud that Canada kind of has the, what's the word? You know, the ability to be the grown up, to step up and say, you know what, it's okay, let's hug it out, it's all right. Some Canadians seem to like that. I like that. And some Canadians here don't like it because it's giving too much forgiveness to Americans, which I also understand. Feel free to leave a comment on that. Yeah, especially if you're Canadian. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canada and learning about Canadian culture and seeing Canadian things I've never seen, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.